Babe, what is your favorite musical of all time?
Definitely the High School Musical movies, especially the second one.
Okay, why is that? Why is that?
Those summer vibes, like it's iconic. The songs,
Yeah,
just bangers.
it's probably one of the best trilogies. I know we grew up watching those movies, and it's our childhood,
Yeah.
and we're really honored to have an actor from those movies, a great guy, very talented actor, and people know him for High School Musical, but also he's been in numerous other projects, including Yellowstone, Landman, and many more. We're very excited to welcome Bart Johnson to the show. What's up, man? How's it
Hey,
going?
hi guys. Hey, it is an honor to be here. I like that intro. That's great. People love number two, man. I can't tell you how many people tell me they're like, oh, they're all great. What's your favorite? It better be number two. And it's pretty interesting, but it is pretty it's a contentious argument to get in because people are very passionate about this.
Yeah.
Yeah, what is your favorite? What is your favorite one?
You know, I always say the same thing. Number one, it will always be so special to me because it was such a surprise and we didn't know what we were getting into. And like, it was just supposed to be this little tiny movie. You know, they
Yeah.
didn't have a name for the movie. They said, I knew the director, Kenny Ortega, from Newsies. I met him on the set of Newsies, if you remember that Disney musical. And I've known him all these years. And he was a really great friend and always really supportive of like my acting career. And I was on a TV series once, and he would call me and say, hey, I really like this scene, I really like you did this work. Like, he was just like really supportive. And then when he was doing this movie, this after I did Newsies and Hocus Pocus, he said, hey, I'm doing this movie. It doesn't have a name yet. We're just going to call it High School Musical until we come up with a name. It's a little movie. No one's going to see it, but it's going to be so much fun. Will you come play the coach in this movie? And I said, sure, of course, yeah. If Kenny Ortega says, come play a part in his movie, I'm in. And I went into Universal and I auditioned for it and I didn't get it. I didn't get the part. And he called me a few days later and said, what happened? You didn't get the part. What happened? I said, I don't know. I just went in there and he said, well, what did you wear? I mean, they said you're too young and you're immature or something like that. And he said, that sounds like me. He said, what'd you wear? I was like, I don't know, like jeans and a t-shirt. He's like, this is the first time I've ever auditioned to play an adult, really. Like, ever first time playing a dad ever. Like, I was like totally fish out of water. I didn't know how to do it. And so he's like, look, put on a suit or put on a suit coat, put some gray in your hair and get in there and act your age or age you're supposed to be. You're supposed to be Zac Efron's dad. And I was like, who? Like, nobody knew who Zac Efron was then. It was like, he was really new on the scene. And I was like, I don't know I'm not old enough to have a teenage kid. Like, but so I did that, put the gray in there, went back in there, got the part.
And you
Wow.
made history, man. What yeah, honestly, and it's cool. But you know what? It's actually interesting. Your mom, for example, she worked as a hairstylist on classic shows, right? So you were around that even as a kid. And just to name a couple of the shows, the iconic ones she's worked on: Mork and Mindy, The Brady Bunch, Charlie's Angels. Um, Mork and Mindy, actually, that Robin Williams with Nano Nano.
That's
And
right.
yeah,
I remember him doing that. He was always so great to all the kids there. And my mom was the hairstylist for all 3 years of that show. And he would always he was so great to greet us. And he was, you know, in his suit and he'd always give us the, you know, nanu nanu, you know, like, and as a kid, like watching the show, you're like, this is the greatest thing ever. Like, this is Mork giving me the actual Mork handshake. He's great. He was great.
yeah. Do you have any fond memories being on those sets as a kid? I mean, that must have been like just a
Oh
great
man,
experience.
yeah, so many, so many. I mean, just spent so much time there. It's like, you know, we were just like I was the kid you know, in the corner of the trailer while she was working on all these iconic, hair. You know, like it's like she did the Farrah Fawcett hairdo on Charlie's Angels. She was doing that. I remember going to. I remember this is like an embarrassing one, but I remember like the first time I was like a little kid, like a tiny little kid, and my mom brought me to Farrah's a trailer, and it was I remember the episode. It was like there was a skateboarder, and I think they were like doing crimes on skateboards. This is just my memory. I haven't seen it since, but this is like something I remember. And I remember my mom taking me with her to Farrah Fawcett's trailer, and she like opened the door and she's like wearing some little nightgown thing, you know, and I was like so awkward, and they're like, okay, come in, and she's like, oh, I got my son here. He's like, oh, he's a little kid, come on, look, bring it. And I remember like, oh yeah, there's no big deal. And I just remember feeling like, what's this feel? It was the first time I felt embarrassed, like I didn't know what the emotion was, you
Oh,
know. It was like,
she's beautiful too. Beautiful,
oh
talented.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No, it's like I don't know what that was. It embarrassment? Was it like just a fluster? Just like all sorts of you know, like a young boy going like, what am I feeling? What are these emotions? I don't
That's
know.
so funny, man. And did that also influence you to become an actor later on in life? Like just being around those sets and getting to be around all those talented actors, just seeing what was going on and just getting a sense of what that was like?
Yeah, there's a couple key things. It was just normal, and it was normal for us because it was, especially back then. It was a little different back then. There was like actors and the crew and everybody would sit together, and it felt like more like a kind of like a family. It wasn't like a, it didn't feel like the class separation that sometimes you feel like on sets now, which is really unfortunate. But I came from a crew, like I'm from a crew family. My dad was the set chiropractor, and my mom was the hairstylist, and it was really like it was a job. It just felt like a job. But everybody was always so much older than me that it didn't really feel, like I didn't really get to know the kids on like the Brady Bunch because they even those kids were like I was so tiny. They were though even those kids were way older than me. So there was a couple times though. There was one time like two, there's two I think that really made an impression. One was on Maverick with Mel Gibson, Jodie Foster, and James Gammon, and all these. I don't know if you know that movie Maverick, but it's all these Western stars, and they were on a riverboat on this big gambling, like a big poker game is the whole show, and there Richard Donner who directed a lot of the Lethal Weapon movies
Oh,
and
and
Radio
Superman
Friday.
too.
Oh,
Superman as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, like amazing director, amazing. And he was so nice to me. And Mel Gibson and Dick Donner were both like the nice, and they were so good to my mom. My mom would always bake them apple pies, and it was just like it felt like a family. But we go to work, and they were like constantly doing jokes on each other. They're constantly like pulling pranks. And Mel Gibson was trying to get Richard Donner. Richard Donner's getting Mel Gibson, and then Joel Silver is on the lot too. On Warner Bros. His office was there too, and they're pulling pranks on each other and trying to ruin each other's like big epic shots. It was just like it was so much fun. I was like, "What? These guys are getting paid to do this? Are you kidding? Like this is the greatest job ever. Like they're these are adults here, and they're just having the best time, and then making like a great movie on top of it that everybody loves and everybody's entertained, and just like it was like it really. I think it was like I was an extra on the movie Maverick, so you can watch the movie Maverick. You see like
Wow. Okay. A little
the
fun
Maverick.
tidbit right there. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I just it's funny. I just saw it the other day because I was an extra for 3 weeks on that show, so I'm like all over the gambling scene, and it's pretty funny. But I'm just remember just kind of like observing and being like, man, this is it. This is like I want to do this. And then when I went on the set of Newsies, I met Christian Bale and David Moscow and Ellie Keats and like all the cast of on Newsies, and they were my age. All those guys were my age, or like a couple years younger even. And I started hanging out. I became friends with Ellie Keats. I hung out with her, and we went to dinner that night and kind of went to movies. And I got to see her life and what her world was like. And I was just like, wait, this is your like you live in like this is your place up in the Hollywood Hill. You live by yourself, like like this isn't like she's like, yeah, I bought this. I'm like, it's like, you can make those movies and you can like live on your, so it's like the realization of like it's not a dream. This is like it's a job, and if you work hard and you're successful and you can like make a living doing something this fun and this fulfilling and like make movies. Like I'm such like a movie nerd. Like I just love movies so much. I love watching them. I love just being on the set. I love being an extra on the show. Like whatever it is, just like I can just sit there and just like, I drive by still to this day, like all these years later, I drive by the set. I'm like, I wonder what they're shooting. I wonder what that scene is.
Yeah.
Walk by the trailer doors and see if any of my name or one of my friends' names are on the door. Like I just like want to be around. A matter of fact, I remember on the set of my very first TV series I did as a series regular was this show called Hyperion Bay for Warner Bros. And I remember they're like, okay, Bart, like I was a regular, so I'm working. You have this big workload, and they say, okay, Bart, you're wrapped. All right, you're done. I'm like, okay, great. To sign out. A couple hours later, they're like, Bart, you're done. You can go home. I go, yeah. I just want to kind of like hang out. And then the DPs would like the DP and the camera guys would let me like operate the camera and stuff, and just like kind of like be around, kind of like just be a part of it. So you guys got movie posters in the background, so I know you guys know what I'm talking about.
We're big movie
She
buffs.
got me into it.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
got him into like the more classics. Like my favorite movie, Scarface. I love Scarface.
Scarface, man.
We're big Pacino fans.
Yeah.
What's your favorite? Do you have a favorite film?
Oh man, I feel like. I feel like I've come to terms with this question and I've just realized like you can't answer that because there's like I have a favorite war movie. Like I think Apocalypse Now is like one of the most perfect war movies ever made. Like I could watch that movie every day. Like it's so amazing. And the
Yeah.
performances so like from Robert Duvall to like to every to Martin Sheen. Like everybody's like so good in that movie. But then there's like, like I love American Graffiti. American Graffiti is like one of my favorite
I
movies
never
ever. I
We've
seen it.
think it's
never
like
seen
Never seen it.
that.
you guys watch it
We're
in
gonna
con.
watch it now.
We'll
No,
watch it. We'll
like
watch it
it's
100%.
so. You guys are. Oh, you've been to LA before.
He
I've been a
has.
few times. Yeah, 3 times.
Okay, it's just like to think like that was like they were shooting on Van Nuys Boulevard. They're shooting like where I've lived. Like it's just so it's an amazing movie. But then I like all the John Hughes films. Like I love. I mean. I just so many. So, and then Singing in the Rain, I think is the most incredible like musical ever made. Like that movie is pure magic, it's pure like joy, and
Iconic, yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
I just another flawless movie. So yeah, I don't know. I have a hard time with what's your favorite movies? Like, oh dude, I can't answer that. What about you guys? What are your favorites? What kind of
that's
I
movies do you?
that's for
have
you, right? And then
so there's I don't know, do you know the app Letterboxd?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so my top four on that is Scarface, Godfather Part One, Superbad, and the Gladiator.
and
Uh,
mine are Goodfellas, Rocky, the first one, Back to the Future, and I'm forgetting the
The
last, The
Mummy.
Mummy, I think, which is on there too.
awesome. Yeah,
Classic.
yeah.
Next year marks 20 years since the first High School Musical came out. So why do you think this film series is still popular to this day?
I think it's an interesting study in film because here's an interesting thing. I think like right, if you're not interested in this, that you don't know the information. Like for instance, this movie was made for $4 million. It's a little movie. It was supposed to be one movie. It was a one-off. And it didn't have any special advertising. It was just advertised like any other Disney movie. Disney Channel just cranks these movies out. Blah, 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 blah. They're always making movies and they're always using like these really fresh young talent. They're trying to find the best talent. They're just, it's kind of a machine a little bit of like creating really great Disney Channel content. And so when this movie came out, there was no special advertising, not a extra money spent, nothing clever in the marketing of it. It just hit. It just resonated. And when the movie premiered without any special advertising, I can't emphasize that enough. 18 million people saw that movie. 18 million
Wow.
people
It's
on
crazy.
opening night for like no reason. It was
Wow.
amazing. It was amazing. It like was the most successful cable movie of all time from any cable channel ever. Like smoked it. So you have to ask yourself, well, why? Why did that happen? And then it just from there, it just kept going and kept going and kept going. And I think it's like it's not anything it's so funny to see how many people try to take credit for this. I mean, like the executives that were involved, like I knew it. I knew it. I knew if we just did it, it's like, dude, no, nobody saw this coming. The only person I could say that is responsible for this really being so amazing is Kenny Ortega, and
Mhm.
he made it magical, and he was so invested in this movie every day leading up to it, every day on set. He worked so hard. He wanted to make everything so perfect, so incredible. He worked really hard to get the exact right music people and get the right writer and to get the right choreographers and get the right dancers. And I remember he was like he went to Disney and said, okay, I need whatever it was. I need 50 professional dancers or 100 professional, whatever it was. And they're like, no, what do you mean? No, like, no, we'll give you like three dancers. Like, well, no, do you know the budget of this movie? Like, we can't get, he's like, no, I need, this is high school. I need all these dancers. So they said, no, absolutely not. And he said, well, I'll get them from Utah. And they said, no, it's impossible. You can't go to some state outside of New York or LA, Chicago. You can't go to some city and just like collect like professional dancers. And he said, he had directed the opening closing ceremonies of the Winter Olympics. And
Wow.
when he met all these dancers and all these really incredibly talented people. And he said, I will have them dance in the movie. And so we went up there, auditioned, found like all these incredible dancers, like everybody, almost everybody from the show all the professional dancers, all are just locals. So he did that kind of stuff, and he brought so much talent to it. And I remember this. We were shooting the scene. You guys know the show "Stick to the Status Quo" or the
Oh yeah.
song.
Oh,
Yes.
of course.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so it's in the cafeteria. So I remember this is like one of the things I remember just why I just love this moment. Like I'm watching Kenny direct this. And you know what Video Village is? You guys know the term Video Village? So there's like like if you go to a movie set, there's always a thing called Video Village. And it's like imagine you're shooting in this, you're shooting this whole kitchen scene here, and the actors are here, and the makeup and the hair makeup is going to be just off because they got to keep coming in and touching up, so they're always close. You got the gaffers and lighters, the camera guys, they all come in, do their thing, and they kind of come out, and then the operators come in to move the cameras. But everybody else kind of there's always just kind of painting the scene here. So the cables from the cameras come to like a little station called Video Village, and it's got 1 to 3 monitors depending on how many cameras you have, right here, and then playback and everything else. You're sitting with the producer, sitting with the script supervisor sitting there,
Yeah.
and the director. So it's like I'm the director. I'm sitting here looking at my computer. I'm looking at what the camera sees. So it's basically what this is your movie. I'm watching the movie live. So it's like this
Mhm.
camera shooting this, and it might be moving, and it might be catching people and be focusing on this and that, whatever. But it's like you're watching this, and it's like this is the image I'm gonna edit the movie from is right here. So I'm a Video Village. So anyway, it's always like when you come to set, you guys will see, like if you go, oh, looking for where's the director? He's sitting at Video Village. Okay, he's sitting at his monitor looking at what the cameras are looking at. So that's Video Village. So I was sitting at Video Village with Kenny, and he's right in front of his monitors. He's got a couple cameras, and then the one main monitor in front of him, and he has Chucky, one choreographer, and Bonnie Story on the other side of him. So he's 2 choreographers. And Kenny, we're like shooting that scene. If you remember, the steps are coming down, and the tables are here, and people are going
Yeah.
back from
Yep.
the tables
Yeah.
and spinning, jumping. It's like the whole frame was like filled. This is a tremendous amount of work, a tremendous amount of choreography that's gone into making this whole picture like come alive. But if you look at like little individual pieces, you're like, oh, that's amazing. Oh, that piece is amazing. That's amazing. That's amazing. That's amazing. What all these incredible things are happening. And so when you're shooting, it's like you only have so much time, and what's really fun about shooting a musical, by the way, which is really like I normally shoot a regular TV show or a regular movie, and they're all pretty much the same in that it's like, okay, we're going to shoot a scene in this kitchen. We're going to start with a wide shot of what we call a master. And then you get everything that goes on here. And then we're going to move into mediums and kind of follow the actors around her. And then we're going to get close ups and get everybody in whatever. And then that's it. And then you move to the next scene, and then you start over: master, mediums, close-ups, whatever. You some inserts of hands or things, and then you move on. That's it. Well, musicals, you're like doing that, and then it's like, okay, today we're shooting the song. We're shooting this song, and it's like, oh yeah, just grab a bag of popcorn, man. Sit back, watch the show, because these guys rehearsed all this time before we got to the set. They worked on all their choreography. It's all coming together. The wardrobes come together, the lighting and like all the special effects, all this stuff comes together. And you sit back and you're just like watching this show that's amazing.
You're like a
And
little
so
kid in
it's
a
like,
candy store looking at that stuff, man. Wow.
oh, it's incredible. It's incredible. And then if you're on the crew, or if you're like me, where it's like I'm not even involved in most of this musical stuff, I get to just stand there and be like, entertain me, guys, entertain me. Let me watch the show. And then but being the film geek that I am, I like stay close and like see what Kenny's doing. And to see him, so all that to get to this story. So he's watching the monitor, and he's like, while they're shooting, so he's only got a little while to shoot this thing. He's like, it's like an artist. It was like an artist like painting the canvas, and he's like, I want this here and this over here. Make this person jump here, and this. I want this person. And the 2 choreographers are like, taking notes, taking notes, taking notes. And as soon as the song is over, they yell cut, and they just go to work, and they go redirect the whole entire thing, redirecting like 100 people. And then 15 minutes later, we're rolling cameras again, and like everything he mentioned on the screen, like happened. Like
Wow.
Wow.
it's amazing. And it's just like you're watching in real time this like your frame change, like an artist would paint like a beautiful picture on a canvas. He just did that, and then the paint like behaved and like made this beautiful picture. It was incredible. It's like,
No, yeah, that sounds amazing. And it's interesting you brought up dancing because we've seen some videos of you dancing on Instagram and we love them. And we're curious, like, did you ever wish that Coach Bolton got to be a part of like the like a dance sequence or a song? Like I feel like like Coach Bolton and Miss Darbus, like a duet with them would have been so iconic.
There was a duet. There was a duet in the first movie. There
What?
was a duet.
No.
Yeah, and it was like Annie, it was like from Annie Get Your Gun was the idea. There's a song in that show that says anything you could do, I can do better. And it was kind of this dueling thing, you know, anything you could do, I could do better. And they fight about this thing. And it was this amazing song, and they cut it.
No.
Why they
Disney cut it.
why though?
They said
Wow.
they didn't want to see old people dancing.
Are you kidding me?
So it was actually with you and Miss Darbus?
Yeah, but we never shot it. It's never been shot. But they
Oh,
had it.
Oh.
It was in the original project. It was in the original movie. And then, you know, it's one of those things where it's like you've got this movie and it's in the best interest of the movie to make it as lean as possible. So it's
Hmm.
like you kind of cut out all the fat. And so you're always looking at ways to lean out your movie. How can we move the story faster? How can we what can we cut from this thing? And so you don't want to, there's so many great moments in the movie. What are you going to cut? Like, well, cut that, I guess, which is very upsetting. And I come from, you know, here's the here's the part that gives me bad. Like I come from musical dance theater. Like I grew up dancing and I grew up singing. Like that's what I did. And then a lot of these people in the show did it. And these kids that have been like singing for like, oh, I've been singing dancer for like 3 months. I'm like, I've been doing it for
Wow.
15 years, you know, like I've got
Yeah.
like, I don't get to do it. So yeah, that is one thing I really like about like TikTok and stuff that I think is really, really fun. Like everybody bags on social media and I get it. I do too. But like, if you use it to create, it's pretty great, man. Cause you
It
could do
is.
like whatever you missed out on, you can just go do it yourself and you can share with people. If they want to see it and enjoy it, then you click a button and they're watching it. So
No, exactly. Oh, and another thing I wanted to ask is Coach Bolton has become such a fan favorite over the years. And why do you think that people still love him so much after all this time?
you know, I kind of have my own theories. I don't know if it's true, but I would like to know. But you know, when you get like when you're an actor and they give you a script, it's like they don't really tell you how to act or like we want you to do it like this. We want you to make your character like this way. It's kind of like here's your sides. You're hired as an actor, like make it your own. Now you figure out why are you saying this and why are you, you know, what's behind it? What and so like I didn't really I really wanted it to be like have meaning to me, you know,
Hmm.
because I was a dad already at this time. My kids were way younger than Zach, but still like it's the same dynamics of like what would I do? What would I do if I knew like here's the right thing to do, but I want to be like I want to encourage my kids to follow their dreams and their passions, but also like if you're committed to something and you've developed something and you're really good at it, like you know, to throw it all away because this is trending over here for a minute, you know, and it's like, listen, you got a future to deal with. Like, you got to like, you know, I understand like you want to pay your bills. You want to have like, do you want to like be able to put food on your table for, like for your kid? You want to do you want to get married? You want to get married? Do you want to be a provider? Do you want to do you know? There's all these complicated questions that you ask in your life, and then it's like you have to sort those out. So it's like to be torn between the. Anyway, I'm getting like way off.
No.
I
no,
just
it's
tried to
deep,
make
man.
it
It's really
Yeah,
deep.
human.
yeah.
I just try to make it human, you know. I just try to like I wanted it to be real for me, and like that's the best way that I could do that part. And maybe that's what resonates with people. I don't know.
Yeah, you
And
did
maybe
that.
okay, well that's yeah, that's good. That's good. I know a lot of people are like, now that I'm older, you know what? Coach was right. And I'm like,
Yeah.
yes, I'm
Yeah, well, actually,
vindicated.
it's funny. It's funny you bring that up too, Bart, because I know earlier in the interview you were talking about the age gap between you and Troy. It was a small age gap. You guys weren't that far apart in age. There was a reaction video you actually posted about where this girl was talking about that the small age
Oh
gap,
yeah.
and she joked that like basically it was Coach Bolton trying to stop Troy from going down the same path he did. Like you were talking to your younger self. But as funny as that was that something that you ever actually like leaned into while filming? Did you ever like even like perceive that like oh wow like there is a small age gap, and like I'm just trying to help my son in the movie just not go through the same thing I did, make similar mistakes. Was that something similar
You
that
know,
like
there's a no, I mean, I didn't that wasn't as that didn't weigh on me as much in that, but like, you know, I considered all those things, you know, like you really, I think it's more interesting, you know, and so if you sort that out and you're thinking about that, like you could, it's a funny thing is like as an actor, when people say a line to you, and like, oh, I know what I'm going to say when I know the line I'm going to say back. Like you guys tell me a line and I'm going to say it back to you. And it's like, if I already know what I'm going to say, I'm going to say, no, whatever. I think it's so much more interesting if you say it and I have to think about it. And it's like, now it's going through my head and it's like like you could almost see it in people's eyes when they're thinking and processing and something's there, it has weight on some level in your eyeballs, in your mind, like there's some thought that's been there. So it's, like that frustration with Darbus is like, you know, is real. It's like it's real it's just more complicated, it's more like textured and it's more I don't know. I had some people tell me like, why do you worry so much about it? Like it's just a simple Disney movie. And I said, look, this character is just as complex as any character in any movie ever. It's like this is like real life. Like it's up to you to make it as real as you want to make it. You can phone it in if you want, it'd be one dimensional, but like not for me. That's not
Mhm.
the whole fun of acting is like to be in that situation. So if I have all these things going on in my mind, she says a line to me and I could just be like, I could be moved by it like on a lot of different levels and not really know how to process it. And I'm trying to like I'm struggling, like I'm trying to figure out what the right thing to do is. And like just like that one time, like, when he's up on stage performing, I walk in, I go, oh my gosh, like this is like he's good. And I didn't just like, and it wasn't like one dimensional, like, oh, maybe he can't be successful. No, it's like I see how he feels. Like I could see how he feels by moving people. So it's a little more complicated, like I don't know. I enjoy that. And honestly, I think the fact that it was taken more not too don't take it too serious. Like it's just it's still you're making a movie, but like I think that's maybe why the messages like resonate more because like, you know, that's really what I think has transcended to these different generations into different countries and different cities all around the world is like these messages like, that we're all in this together and
Mhm.
Mhm.
stick to the status quo and breaking free and all these great like messages that are universal that everybody relates to. It's so fun to be in little towns and random countries around the world and bump into people that are all like I know my people, like I know how old my wildcats are, especially like the ones that are really my OGs, my people. And I see them and I could see them and I see them look at me and it's like I know right away, like, oh yeah. And it's like I'm gonna give them about 30 seconds before they come realize it, and they're gonna come talk to me. And then sure enough, it's like, what are you doing here? Oh my gosh, why are you in this country? And sometimes they're speaking another language, and I'm like, I love it. I love it so much. It's
That's
so special to be so in such random places, and it means something to those people. It doesn't just mean something; it means so much. And
Mhm.
a lot of times they always very often start the sentence the same, which is like, you don't understand, which I love that. I love that they're like, you don't understand. And they're going to explain to me why it's such a big deal. And I just like, let me just pull up a chair. Let me just hear why. Tell me why. Tell me, I want to hear it. And it's just like, they got these greatest stories. When I was a kid, and I used to, and my sister and my mom and my papa, and like everybody's got these great stories of the big impact the movie had on them as a kid. And I don't know what resonated with them when they're 5, but something like 3, 4, 5, 6 years old. And there's like, there's I do a Down syndrome event once a year in Utah here, which I love. It's been amazing. I don't know what it is. The Down syndrome community loves this movie.
really
Love
Wow.
it, which gives me like now I got status in the Down syndrome community. It's so
oh, that's
fun.
nice.
Aw.
Yeah, that's
Cool.
good.
It's so fun to like when you have some. It's like um, it's like when they thank me for coming out. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like I got to do this much. It takes this much effort to make someone like this happy. Like how lucky am I? Like that's a gift for me,
Yeah.
not for them. Like so, it's been amazing that way.
Oh, that's awesome, man. And
Yeah.
and I know in the beginning of the episode I talked about that you also worked with Taylor Sheridan, obviously in Landman and Yellowstone. These shows are so iconic, and even just Taylor Sheridan alone, like Tulsa King, Sons of Anarchy, the list goes on. I saw on your Instagram, I don't know if it's true, but you mentioned that he's an old buddy of yours. How long have you guys known each other for? Has it been like
Well,
a
yeah.
long time
Yeah,
you knew?
I've known him for like 30 years, I
Oh wow.
guess.
Wow.
Yeah, we started in the same acting class. So when he when he first came to town from Texas, we were in my father-in-law's acting class, Ernie Lively. And yeah, we studied in that class for years together. We worked out at the same gym, and I've just known him forever. And we'd audition against each other all the time. And we'd end up in, it's like as actors, like in LA, you often end up in the same room with your best friends. Like
Yeah.
like because you go to your first audition, they might see people for a month, but then when it whittles down, they get to the last selection, and it's like you always know like it's going to come down to like eight, five, maybe eight guys, and you know every single one of them. Like that, you might as well call them ahead of time. You gonna be there today? Yeah, of course. So it's like always the same group of guys are always like competing against each other. So we would always be down to the wire on something. A couple times it was down between the two of us, and I always joke about this one because it was called VIP. It was with Pamela Anderson, and it was like it was such a dumb show, but it's like at the time, it's like, you're like starving actor. You're like, oh, I want this job so bad, this guest spot. Like, oh, it was a big, big show at the time. And like looking back, I'm like, wow, that wasn't like a career highlight. And he beat me out on that. I was so mad. I was so jealous, but great guy. He's a terrific guy. I auditioned for him for maybe 5 years on Yellowstone. And just could never get it. Couldn't get it. Couldn't get it. And then my wife, Robin Lively, she was auditioning. She couldn't get it. We're like, dang it, man. Like, come on, Taylor, give us a job. And like, just, goes to show you, like, he's not about nepotism. He is like, you got to earn it, man. You got to
Mhm.
like kill it. And so the very last season, well, no, before the last season of Yellowstone, I was still auditioning for Yellowstone. And then I did, Landman. We auditioned for Landman, and we both got it. We both got, and we're in the same. We're in episode one together. She's there now and is doing her fifth episode of Landman now, I think. And I can't talk about mine, but I might have something coming up on Landman. But
That is cool. I saw the
um,
scene that you posted. It's you and Billy Bob Thornton. You guys are having
yeah,
a
yeah.
conversation. That must have been great to work with. He's obviously such a great actor, very
Yeah,
talented.
oh yeah. I mean, if you love being movie buffs that I know you guys are all, you are, like, I mean, always going back to like Tombstone, when
Oh,
he
Yeah.
like that, like that's just one of my very favorite movies of
well,
all time.
R.I.P. Val Kilmer, right? So
Right, right, yeah,
Yeah.
well, yeah, the greatest characters ever put on film. But like, like gosh, that one. Whoa, I'm blanking on the thing now. I was going to say A Simple Favor. Oh wait, no, not A Simple Favor. That's what's coming out now. Uh, the one with the plane wreck, and they
I'll search
find
it
the
back.
back.
Let me see.
Know what
Um,
it is?
Billy Bob Thornton
Really, Bob
plane
Thornton. Let's see if I can think of it before you get it.
plane
plane
crash movie.
crash movie.
Well, I'll tell
A
you
simple
this.
plan. A simple plan.
A simple. Oh, did I say A Simple Plan? I think I said A Simple
I think it's
Plan.
like I think you said
A
something
Simple
like that.
Favor. Simple
That's
Yes.
Plan.
yeah.
A Simple Plan. Oh, have you guys seen that movie?
No, but I've heard a lot
No.
about it. But I've heard a lot about it.
Put that on the list of
That's
my
another one we gotta
Hundred
watch.
percent. Who's
Yeah,
all?
for
What's in this
sure,
movie?
for sure. And
Oh,
then
Bill
Sling
Paxton's in
Blade,
it too. Bill Paxton, Gary
the
Cole,
Paxton.
Bridget Fonda. Oh, wow, this is a good. Okay, stellar
Oh,
cast.
it's a good one. But it's one of Billy Bob's, I think, like one of his most interesting roles ever. I mean, I like him in everything. That's the thing about him. Like you can just watch him. I mean, you can watch him hang drywall and you'd be like,
Yeah.
he's like so interesting. Sling Blade, like that was when I first started dating my wife. That's the first movie I recommended her was Sling Blade. I'm like, you gotta watch the movie, the greatest movie I've ever seen, Sling Blade. And he wrote and directed and starred in a Sling Blade. Billy Bob's just he's amazing, man. So great to work with him and like to do a scene with him. I was like, I didn't know if I was going to do more Landmans well, they told me I was up front that I was going to do more, but when we're shooting the scene, I'm like, I'm just going to enjoy this is me again, like posting up with my bag of popcorn, just like I'm going to enjoy every minute, just like watching him process. Like I say my line, I just like, what a joy, man. What a joy. What a blessing to just sit here and get to like look at Billy Bob in the eyes and be like, watch him process and be like, dude, I don't even care, man. I don't even care if I do a great performance. I get to sit here front row seat and like you're looking at me performing. Like what a gift. This is awesome. I loved
No,
it. And then
that's
between scenes, he just tell the greatest stories too. So he's the best.
Wow.
that's amazing. But yeah, you've obviously played a bunch of different roles over the years, but is there one that people might not know about, but it meant like a lot to you?
Oh gosh, that's a good one. Geez. I did a movie during COVID called Held, and I really liked it. It was a really small movie, but I really enjoyed it a lot. It was really great. And I always tell people like, just watch the trailer. I have a hard time asking people to watch movies I'm in because I'm like, hey, do me a favor, watch me for 2 hours. It's like, okay, just watch the trailer and see if that's like your jam. If it is, that's cool. I did probably my favorite thing I ever did though, to be honest, is I wrote and directed a short film called The Run, and I shot it down in Mexico, my favorite place in the world. And we had the best time. Like shot the whole movie down there. Had the best time down there, and it was like right up kind of my alley. It was like a fun but real, like a comedy adventure kind of a story based on real events from me and my two brothers. We surfed down in Mexico a lot, and we just like we're just like dummies and get ourselves in trouble in the movie.
Yeah, yeah,
And
And
yeah.
just in the
Just in the
movie.
movie, right? Yeah, yeah, for sure.
all. But that was probably the most like energy, probably the most, it's probably the best time I ever had in a movie was that. It was the best.
That's awesome,
Aw.
man. Well, honestly, yeah, you've done great stuff. Honestly, like we could go on and on and all the stuff you've done, and I know you also, you're a pilot as well too. I read about you've done so many cool things, and honestly, want to thank you for your time today and talking about High School Musical and Landman and Yellowstone, all these cool projects, and hope we can do it again sometime, man. Honestly, you're awesome.
Let's
You're
do
so
it again,
fun.
man. Next time I got a movie coming up, let's do this again and
Hey,
we'll
you have
geek
my
out.
email. Send me an email. I would love. Yeah, are you kidding me? Anytime you want
Cool.
to come on, it's an honor just to even speak with you, man.
Yeah, it was a pleasure.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
All
Pleasure's
Thank you
right.
mine.
so much.
Always good to hang out with some other, you know, film people like myself.
Hey, and if
Yeah.
you have any more film recommendations, again, you have my email. Send it over, and I'll give it a watch.
I'll make you list my favorites. Make sure you see like my top 10.
A
All
hundred
right.
percent. You
Give
got
me
it,
guys
man.
Got it.
feedback.
Alrighty, dude. Take it easy.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much.
All right. Thanks, guys. Take care.
Take
Bye.
care.
Okay, bye.